Jeremy is one of my oldest friends. We knew each other from tiny. I remember going over to your guys' house, and he loved to play with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the action figures, and he had all of those. Another thing Jeremy was obsessed with over the years was wrestling. He loved wrestling, and Georgina, Wendy, Amanda, and I watched as him and some of the other boys, Tyler, Lionel, broke and wrecked many tables at our church, going through them, or chairs. There was always a lot of laughs and good times with Jeremy. We made good choices together, we made poor choices together, but we were there for each other. And the last time I got to see him, thankfully, was a few years ago when he was sober. He came to Nanaimo, and we were able to go out for coffee. And it was just so good to see how hard that he had worked to get to sober, because Georgina and I and some of you guys all have probably at one time or another seen him in pretty hard spots. So I really think that's a huge blessing that I was able to see him sober again. It's unfortunate that obviously today many of us want to be here. This is not what any of us would want to do today, but I'm so thankful that I have you, Kurtz, in my life, and I had Jeremy to grow up with. Tyler sends his regrets. He wanted to let you guys know that, and yeah.
Thank you, Sharon.
I won't say much or I'll be bawling, but Sharon was the one that phoned us about 7 or 8 years ago, and Jeremy was in a rough state then in Nanaimo before we even came to Kelowna. And Sharon phoned us one night and she says, Jeremy's not doing good. So I drove to Nanaimo and paid him a visit, and he was pretty rough. It was 31, 32 years old. So I told him I was coming in, I was going to break the door down, and I would have, but he finally let me in, and we hugged and laid in bed. So addiction is tough, but we got 7 more years with Jeremy because of Sharon, probably, because we came to Kelowna and he went to Teen Challenge and then Freedom's Door and rehab. Still had his struggles off and on over the years, but probably because of Sharon's phone call, we enjoyed Jeremy for 7 more years. You have to look at it that way, that I'm up in my 70s, and we might only get another 15, 20 years of being with Jeremy. I feel more sad for my kids and the grandkids that he's not around, even though he made it to 40. 40 seems young, but we went to a grief group one time, and it was sad. It was just, everybody brought a picture of their child that they lost, and we brought a picture of Jeremy and put it on the mantle, and they lit a candle, and then they went around the room and we talked about our kids. And I told them about Jeremy, but the room was, everybody in that room knew what we were going through because they'd been through it. Two all around 30s and 40-year-old, some in the 20s. 2 were suicides. One mom lost both her boys suicide. One was a fentanyl overdose, one was alcohol, one was a motorcycle accident. It was just unbelievable, the stories that we heard as we were grieving. And one after the other mom was there, and her daughter had given birth to the child, to her child, and she lost her life in childbirth, giving birth to her child. So many sad things. And but as the meeting go on, it becomes more uplifting. But he enjoyed his years here. He loved Kelowna. I said to him near the end, I said, "Do you want to go back to the island one day?" And he said, "No, I like Kelowna." Kelowna was home, even though he was only here 7 years. What else can I say? He was a great kid. He loved Freedom's Door. He talked about it all the time. That was his home. So thank you.
everyone for being here. And Jeremy was the love of my life for a very long time. Sorry, we were together from 16 to 29, and I was like, you know, what do you want? I love, like, he just had such a heart for God, and when he played the drums, it just like, it just lit up the whole room. He was just, so kind and loving and like the best man. And it was, yeah, it's been very hard because we're so part of his past, and we loved him so much, and we still love him. Yeah. It's just started so so these were the, yeah.
And once one cries, we're done. So, yeah, so Jeremy was obviously like our brother-in-law, and we grew up with him. Yeah.
Him and his family.
We're singers, and he'd always keep us on beat. He'd be in the front row just keeping us on
Our
beat.
biggest fan always.
Everyone would always be so annoyed with like that we would sing all the time. It was like again, and Jeremy would always be so excited to hear us sing every time, and like for like 15 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For forever, he'd always, no, just do another one, and he'd be listening and be, like so intently listening.
And he'd always remember the one song that we always forgot, and for some reason it came to me today here.
Yeah, so, but yeah.
We would sing, but we can't.
Go ahead if you want to.
Excited to collaborate.
We might do one later, but I don't know if we can make it through a song. But
Yeah, thank you all for being here and for loving him at all different stages of his life, and he's continued to be loved forever. And he's in a better place and have peace, and I really feel that, and I know that in my deepest being that he's happy where he is, and he's at peace, and yeah, he's not struggling on earth anymore.
yeah, and with you, someone mentioned Jesus Christ Superstar.
Oh yeah, 30 shows with
We
him.
did 30 shows one summer, Jesus Christ Superstar. So like we performed it 30 times one summer, and like
Tyler.
we had so much fun. And yeah, he was always so competitive, and
Yeah,
yeah,
great.
yeah, he was amazing. So yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, girls.